Hey, happy Friday, everyone. Today is the day. Toy Story 5. We're going to talk about that. Plus, Supergirl, the early reviews are in and everyone loves it. Better than expected is what they're saying. We will go over it. Lots of other news and other reviews, including Citizen Vigilante by Uwe Boll, a movie that is going to be very controversial. But to talk about it all, I need my friend Alan Ing to join us.
Hello, Chris. Hello, Film Threat family. Funny story. I recently made a comment about Christian dads, and now they hate me. And you know what? I don't give a flying fuck. But there is one dad I care about, and that man is Alan. Alan.
How do you get? She was in your room. When did that happen?
I know. I don't know, but I only did the way a Christian dad could do it. By the way, happy Juneteenth.
Wait, is it Juneteenth?
It is Juneteenth. Because the reason I know is because today is my 27th wedding anniversary. Because we got married.
Wow, that's how you remember. Well, congratulations.
I'm trying to craft a slavery marriage joke here, but I haven't quite.
You got to workshop that one, slavery and marriage. Actually, I think that one works pretty well, honestly.
But you got to do it in a way that will offend the right people and not get you in trouble.
Right. Well, let's see. 27th. That's actually, it's a lucky number, but not so lucky for people like, Kurt Cobain. Let's say that. Mm-hmm. Kurt Cobain. A lot of famous people died at the age of 27. Trying to think, there's a long list.
Yeah. Wait, Buddy Holly died at 27.
A lot of people died at 27.
Janis Joplin, probably.
Yeah, Jimmy Page, like lots of 27 is like this weird number, and even Kurt Cobain, like kind of intimated that he would be done at 27. So,
and thanks to the chat,
for all
the kind words.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's see who is here before we start. Let's say hi to the people.
Yeah, Aaron Charman. Happy Film Threat Friday, guys.
Hey,
Agent 57,000. Better than expected. Didn't completely suck.
Yeah.
Toy Story. SC Bufuk. Supergirl is a gay icon. Yes.
That's what we know.
Christopher Moonlight Productions. Happy Friday, all. Getting excited for my first Comic-Con in 14 years. Got 2 new articles on the Film Threat site, and I have a trailer for my new movie in late July. It is The Indie Age.
Oh, that's great, Chris. Appreciate that.
You got a whole lot of articles in the queue. So
Yeah.
Lord Thoth, like, share, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. Sign up as a member. Join us on Discord, X, Rumble, and Instagram. Buy our merch. Shop.filmthreat.com and join us on the journey to 169,000 subscribers.
Yes, there we go. And we've
We're
got our
away.
Different collections here. Our 250th birthday USA, flawless victory, gaming inspired shirts, and Doomsday duds. That's shirts inspired by Spider-Man, the upcoming Spider-Man Brand New Day, and Avengers Doomsday. And we have lots of news to get to. So let's start with a few fun things. Right here. Dinosaurs of the Wild West is coming. And this is a teaser trailer. This movie is going to be directed by Luke Spark. Luke is the award this winning director. He made the movie Primitive War. He is using crowdfunding for some of his upcoming movie. Check out this quick teaser, and we'll talk about this later when it launches. I just want to give you a little tease, a little taste. Here we go. What the heck?
I know, that's pretty good.
It's a cowboy on a dinosaur. Wild West is fun dinosaur. and it's going to launch on Kickstarter in a couple. What am I doing here?
What?
Who is this? It's Az. We love Az. So, well, that's cool. That's cool. I mean, that movie Primitive War, if you've not, it's on Hulu now, actually. So for those folks that have not seen it, is on Hulu. Check it out, and we'll check in. I already bookmarked it because I contribute to a lot of Kickstarters. I mostly do movies and comic books. That's my Kickstarter go-to. I love it. All right, let's get right to it. The early reactions to Supergirl. They're crazy, Alan. I've got notes for this. There have been the Hollywood Reporter, Variety. They've all got stories. I think you can pull. Let's go right to the quotes. What are people saying? I'll put this up on screen here for you.
Okay.
But get to the quotes from this. You've got them.
Go. First reactions for Supergirl, praising leading star Millie Alcock and the movie for shifting James Gunn's DC world into Mad Max territory. It isn't a classic, but it's fun and hits most of the targets it aims for. Millie Alcock is great as the titular heroine, and Momoa's Lobo is a blast, which means it's a cameo. Other big wins are the action humor and when it leans into physical production. Another journalist said the movie looks and plays like a Mad Max movie with dirty words, gross villains, and a self-destructive hero.
Well, the dirty worlds, we've seen that in the trailer. Are there more reactions? I know that we've got more from both Variety and the Reporter, actually. Why don't you go through them?
I don't have an article about this. So.
Oh, you don't? Okay. Yeah. Well, here it is. I don't know. I mean, all the reactions I saw as I scrolled through these, they're all positive. Why don't you find some more of those? And we've got actually someone that wants to say something.
Hello, everyone. My name is Millie Alcock. I will be in the new James Gunn movie, playing the role of Supergirl. James and I spoke of his vision for Supergirl. He was looking for someone kind of punk, dirty, and drunk, because he refuses to give fans what they want. I, of course, am totally on board with this idea. He asked me to get together with the fashion department and show him what I wanted the outfit to look like. I was so pleased with that idea, so I called my fashionista friend, Rachel Zegler. James told me to keep the cape, but the rest was up to me. This is what we came up with. Tell me what you think.
Will this be box office poison? I don't know if that's fair to say, Alan, but you've got some more reactions there.
I don't have reactions.
Why don't you skim through the story?
I don't have the story.
Okay, well, they're in the notes.
I'm looking through the notes. I'm not finding them.
Okay, I'll look through.
Yes.
Okay, I can't.
But here's okay. Yeah,
here we go. Here
we could have just read this.
Here we go. Supergirl is not at all what I was expecting. I too assumed superhero space movie with needle drops would have a similar tone to Guardians of the Galaxy or even Superman. Instead, it looks and plays more like a Mad Max movie with dirty worlds, gross villains, and a self-destructive hero. From Gizmodo, Supergirl is highly enjoyable. It doesn't quite have the menace or the resonance of Superman, but it acts as both a perfect companion and follow-up to that movie with better characters and more complex relationships. It's also incredibly emotional, which makes the action hit even harder.
I believe that. I believe that it's a perfect companion. Hold on. No, I believe it's a perfect companion to the current Superman movie.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to read Den of Geek?
Supergirl is the superhero movie I've missed. A straightforward, poignant story with a lot of emotion, especially when we see Kara through little Ruthie's eyes. Luckily, that's every action scene. Millie Alcock absolutely owns the role and will change our idea of Supergirl forever.
From the Mary Sue, who got to see it very early. Supergirl is everything I wanted it to be. Girls can be messy, and that rules. Kara isn't her cousin, and I really loved how this movie makes that clear. She's a different kind of hero and perfect in every way. She's a perfect woman.
By the way, isn't it interesting that the Mary Sue got to see this early?
Why don't you read? We'll ping pong.
Okay,
You read this one.
Sin Express. Supergirl is a solid follow-up to last summer's Superman. More serious and emotional, heavier in tone. It delivers a cool intergalactic road trip that evokes Guardians of the Galaxy with a dash of Mad Max Fury Road and a bit of Thor: The Dark World. Millie Alcock is total badass, delivering a performance that's both fierce and vulnerable as Kara Zor-El. Can't wait to see her in future interactions with her cousin and other heroes in the DCU. Keep them coming.
From That Hollywood Show, Supergirl soars. Millie Alcock is the perfect Kara. This film is filled with gorgeous set pieces and dazzling action sequences. Momoa is Lobo, but I wanted more of him. The scenes with Clark are priceless. Third act is effing fun. The future is bright with this Supergirl.
The AU review. Supergirl channels the energy of Gunn's Superman while carving out its own identity. Surprisingly dark themes, Mad Max vibes, and a John Wick style motivation drives the story. Millie Alcock shines. Jason Momoa brings his trademark chaotic charm.
From the direct, Millie Alcock is a Kryptonian powerhouse and the perfect Kara Zor-El. The film has a strong heart, giving an interesting and complex character journey for Kara. Jason Momoa is clearly born to play Lobo, and the DCU is only better with those two now in it.
And discussing films, Millie Alcock steps into the role of #Supergirl wonderfully, and it's refreshing to root for a heroine with a unique hard edge. Unfortunately, the film around her takes far too long to step into gear and never quite matches her energy.
Geeks of Color, that's the outlet, says Supergirl is the best blockbuster of the summer. Terrific action, but what sells it is the heart and the characters. Millie Alcock is a force to be reckoned with. Eve Ridley is also incredible, and Jason Momoa is a pitch perfect as Lobo. One of the best DCU films.
The two leads are white, right? So why is Geeks of Color praising this movie? Who Let Us Out? Supergirl starts off as a slow burn, but once
let's stop for a second. Who the F are these outlets?
I know, exactly.
That get access earlier than we're seeing Supergirl on Monday, but Mama's Geeky, Who Let Us Out? That's
what I'm saying. The Mary Sue. Imagine them getting early access.
What the hell? Okay, continue, Alan.
All right. Who Let Us Out? The great publication. Supergirl starts off as a slow burn.
Who Let Us Out with decades of covering film? Who doesn't remember Who Let Us Out's best stories that went? Sorry, Alan.
I know. Second only to Mama's Geeky. Millie Alcock is incredibly relatable, bringing heart, vulnerability, and strength to Kara's journey of embracing her imperfections and discovers their power within. The film balances emotional character growth with some truly epic action scenes, while Jason Momoa's Lobo is an absolute scene stealer who was born to play this role. I think they just grabbed their Marvel's review and just kind of replaced things.
Yeah, none of this is really original, and it's all overpraising. Mama's Geeky. Unfortunately, Supergirl is a mixed bag for me. Mama's Geeky. You've got a new follower.
Someone's dropping some truth bombs here.
Yeah.
Half of them at least.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Supergirl is a mixed bag for me. As a fan of the comic, I was perhaps overly excited for the film adaptation. While Jason Momoa's Lobo and Millie Alcock shine, some adaptation choices and a bland villain keep it from greatness. It's simply put, just fine. All right.
So Chris,
Let me
ask you this. Why don't we get invited to premieres?
Oh, I know. We're not geeks of color, I guess, or
Well, no, we're not
This isn't-
shills for the. We're not shills because it's clear that that Warner Brothers knows who will like a movie and who won't.
Well, we're seeing it Monday, and we will do an out of the theater reaction for that.
Which is why Film Threat was not invited to this.
We don't get. You know what's so funny? We don't really ask. You know what I mean?
But I can certainly say I have. I think they have a good pulse of which critics will like things and which one won't. Because, look, I think someone there knew that I would like The Flash, and I got some pretty good access to it up front.
I guess Who Let Us Out is a YouTube channel.
Is the host? What would be the demographic of the host?
It's a woman. It's a YouTube channel for a woman.
A woman
fine.
of color, maybe?
Looks like a good up and coming YouTube channel. I'm not gonna. It looks fine. Okay. Well, good. That's cool.
Good.
All right. Hey, more stories, Alan. George Lucas planned an Emperor Palpatine TV series. This would have been cool. I don't know if you watch Robot Chicken, but when they do like the parodies where it's like, Emperor Palpatine in his office just doing mundane stuff, like it's funny as hell. But an actual Emperor Palpatine series, but it never happened. From the story and Popverse, Alan, give me the notes.
Yes, before Disney acquired Lucasfilm in 2012, George Lucas had plans for a live-action Star Wars television series centered on Emperor Palpatine and his rise to power. According to actor Ian McDiarmid, who revealed the idea during SpaceCon 2026, Lucas envisioned a show exploring the Emperor's political maneuvering, drawing parallels to Adolf Hitler's ascent. McDermott said Lucas even discussed assassination attempts against Palpatine and suggested the actor might direct an episode. At the time, live-action Star Wars on television was still a novelty, with the franchise mostly confined to animated series such as Droids, Ewoks, and the Clone Wars. McDermott recalled being excited by the concept, though the project never materialized. It remains unclear whether this was a long-rumored Star Wars underworld, which Lucas spent years developing before abandoning due to budget concerns. That series was reportedly set between episodes 3 and 4, and early reports suggested Palpatine would stay mostly in the background. McDermott comments imply the Emperor may have had a much larger role that Lucas was considering multiple live-action projects at the time.
What do you think that series would have been, Alan?
It would have been Andor.
Been Andor. But let me tell you where the state of Star Wars is. We know about the failure of Mandalorian and Grogu, right? Mm-hmm. But this was posted just days ago on the Star Wars official YouTube channel. And you're not going to believe what it is. It's a recreation of the pod race scene on Tatooine, but there's something different about it. What can you tell me is different about this? Alan.
Oh, how cute.
What's different about it?
It's all yarn.
It's yarn. It's basically Star Wars recreated in crochet.
Or it's
this is the state of Star Wars now, is that they are going to remake Star Wars, the OT and the prequels. It's going to happen.
Well, this is I guess they made a yarn version of the video game.
Yeah, yarn. I don't know what it's. So this posted on because I subscribe to the official YouTube channel for Star Wars. It's crochet. Who crochets, Alan? Do men crochet? Do boys crochet? Do you know who crochets? Women and girls crochet. This is who's running Star Wars. This is the state. This is embarrassing. This is what we're getting. Crochet Star Wars. Nobody asked for this. This is, you should be embarrassed.
How much money was spent on this?
When I went to the movies last night, saw the latest films we'll talk about later. A sea of popcorn buckets of Grogu, Baby Yoda. A sea of Mando and Grogu cups. All sitting for sale. They can't get rid of them. But here we are. Star Wars now being crocheted. Now, Star Wars parodies are not something new, or doing remakes of Star Wars, sort of redos. Do you remember this, Alan? You may actually remember this. Do you remember Hardware Wars?
Oh, I love Hardware Wars.
This came out literally like the year after. Let me play this for you. About a year after Star Wars came out, this parody came out, made by Michael Weezy. It was shot on 16 millimeter. It's 13-minute short. And it came out a year after Star Wars. I'll just show you the teaser trailer for it. But this was happening back then.
Hardware Wars. A spectacle light years ahead of its time. Starring.
What's that?
Is that Paul Frees?
I don't know.
I think they actually got him to.
Okay, yeah, but let's watch it. It's dumb. This is the very first Star Wars parody. And they made a ton of parodies back then. I remember they made Apocalypse Now. Yes, don't ask. It's about a butcher. Anyway, firing toast at an iron. This was all in the background. I think they used string effect in Super 8 movies I made as a kid. You actually physically scratch the film. You would scratch it.
Enough. Hardware Wars. You'll laugh. You'll cry. You'll kiss $3 goodbye.
$3.
Oh, this is broken down.
Yeah.
Okay. That's not the full one, but I remember when I was growing up in junior high, my parents decided that they're going to get cable, and so we got Showtime, and so that's how I saw this short. It was in between movies, and so we would actually look at the program, figure out which had a end time and a start time that could fit this short film, and then we turned it on to hopefully see this short film.
Yeah, that's how I saw it too. I had a thing in Detroit called On TV.
Oh yeah,
On TV, and I used to record off of it. You could break into the box and hook up wires. There was a kit, and I figured out I could record off of On TV. And they only showed movies between, I think it was like between 5 o'clock and midnight. So
no, didn't they like if you went late at night, you get scrambled porn?
Yes. I don't know anything about that, but yes, that's what they did. Anyways, that is the state of Star Wars, and it's pretty sad. Robert Downey Jr. says Avengers Doomsday figured out how to make Marvel's movies not be a letdown. This article is from comic book. What is this? CBR. You've got the notes, Alan. Tell me, what does Downey say?
All right. At San Diego Comic-Con 2024, Marvel announced that directors Joe Russo and Anthony Russo returned for both Avengers Doomsday and Secret War. The biggest surprise was the return of Robert Downey Jr., not as Iron Man, but as Dr. Doom. Downey compared Doomsday to Infinity War, stressing that great Marvel movies depend on great villains. You're only as good as your bad guy. He pointed out that Thanos' central role in Infinity War suggested that Dr. Doom will serve a similar purpose in Doomsday. Downey revealed that he and the Russos have spent years trying to answer a difficult question. How do you not have these films be a letdown after an Infinity War and an Endgame? According to the actor, the answer lies in the film's structure and the ensemble cast, saying there's something going on in Doomsday, and forward that is literally the only antidote. Downey also said the team has experimented extensively before arriving at the direction that will more than suffice. Joe Russo described Doomsday and the Secret Wars as even more challenging than their previous Avengers film because the stakes keep going up. He believes the key is emotional complexity. Russo added the Avengers Doomsday contains a lot of surprises and called it the most emotionally complex of them all, in a lot of ways the most mature of them all. Filmmakers emphasize that Doomsday and Secret Wars are designed as two-part stories, with the Russos planning to conclude their Marvel run after Secret Wars in 2027.
Well, I think if you think about it, like Avengers, Infinity War and Endgame both ended on a kind of down note, right? Infinity War was, I think, the better of the two, but that ended like a cliffhanger. Whoa, it was kind of dark. You couldn't wait for the follow-up. And then Endgame, of course, ends with the death of Tony Stark. Also kind of a, like, they win the day, but they lose a great hero, of course, in an act of self-sacrifice. Right. So I think an honorable death, but still, I think unnecessary. So,
well, the emotion of Endgame was the universe is saved, but it was saved at a cost.
Right. And even Jon Favreau, when he was told that, yeah, they're going to kill off Tony Stark, he was against it. He argued against it. And, was it a good decision, a bad decision? Look at the phases, post Endgame, the films post Endgame. It's been a steady decline. And I think the excitement, I don't really feel the excitement for Doomsday, even though we've seen 4 quick tease trailers, a poster, a countdown, a chair stream, some awkward banter at an award show. But I'm just not feeling this momentum or excitement for this movie.
You mean for 2 3-hour movies?
Yeah.
I mean that's the thing. Look, was it the wrong decision? I think killing Iron Man, killing Tony at the end, I think it was great for the movie. I think it created the iconic moment for that movie.
Right.
But if you're thinking future if you're thinking beyond that, maybe it wasn't. But I will still take that moment over, I guess, what's happened to Marvel, which look, the collapse of Marvel currently is not the fault of killing Tony Stark. Let's put it that way. The other thing is there's a great risk for Avengers Doomsday and Secret War because it is 2 3-hour movies pretty much. And the question is, if you don't jump on that train in that first movie, the second movie is doomed. And there's so much writing on it, especially if the idea that we have no idea what this movie's about. And that they're basically saying, trust us. It's an Avengers movie. You're going to love it. And you better go and see it. While with the first set, they built up to it. We were all on board that train 2 years before the train even took off. So I don't know. This is a calculated risk. And it's kind of, I go 50-50 whether it succeeds or not.
Yeah, I am not. I think, first of all, Spider-Man Brand New Day, based on ticket sales, based on that latest trailer, that's going to be a home run. That'll be a home run north of $1 billion.
Right. But all the Spider-Man movies were like that. The Spider-Man movies are outliers. They outperform everything, Marvel has done. Yeah.
But I mean, it's $1 billion every time out. I don't think it'll be $2 billion. It's not going to be No Way Home.
Yeah. But I mean, the quality of the movie will state that.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
James Gunn responds to Man of Tomorrow's new Superman suit. Let me bring this up on screen, Alan. I don't know if there's notes, but you can just read the story. It's very short. So I guess there's they've been shooting in Atlanta, not a surprise. And we saw leaked footage of Buzz Lightyear, Lex Luthor, who looks like Buzz Lightyear in it. But there's a new Superman suit. Let's hear it.
Yeah, I gotta. There's no notes, so I have to read whatever you're.
Okay.
What do you got here? So you're
Why
gonna
don't
start from
you-
the
why
top,
don't we
or are you
just-
gonna?
Let's just look. The suit. Here it is. That's what the suit looks like. Well, I'll zoom in on it for you. Sorry about that.
Make it bigger.
I'll make it bigger. Here we go. It's a new suit. It looks kind of better. I'm trying to zoom in on it. I don't know. It looks okay. It looks okay. What do you think?
I mean,
It
like,
looks
if you
more like
were
the
to ask me what is the difference between this one and the last one, I couldn't tell you.
Well, they've been shooting scenes in public, so
Yeah.
it's leaked out. It's leaked
Okay.
out. But he didn't have much to say here.
Yeah.
New costume appears to fit tighter the Corn Sweat's frame with fewer wrinkles, and the first film's version runs a slightly darker shade of blue and sports a marginally larger S.
Oh my god.
So it's 100% tweaked. Fans
I
have
mean,
noted-
I'm not that kind of fan that really cares about the tighter fit and the fewer wrinkles. I mean,
Fans have also noted Corn Sweat wearing his hair a touch longer this time out. It's an evolution rather than a reinvention, but enough of a change that an official high-res shot is one of the most requested drops of this production, especially after the reactions to the first Superman.
What outlet is this?
This is from Cosmic.
Cosmic.
Yeah.
Okay.
But,
I mean, should film threads start running stories like this?
like, what do you mean, non-stories?
Like,
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah, and then someone asked James, please post a high-res image of David in his new super suit. Not yet, sorry.
Sorry.
But things are going to I don't know. I think when you're making corrections like this, you know what that means? That means the first look didn't work. Isn't that what that means?
Right, but I mean, so minor tweaks are gonna get more people in the theater.
Well, you do the minor tweaks before you start shooting the first movie. I think if they're making tweaks now, that's a response to the fact that people didn't love it the first time.
Yeah, but people didn't watch Superman because the suit wasn't 100% perfect.
Why didn't they watch it, Alan?
They watched it because they didn't like the story. It was not the Superman story they expected it to be.
Bingo. We'll get to your comments momentarily, but I've got something here I want to share, and then we're going to get to reviews.
I'm just saying, if you're going to tweak Star Wars into crochet, I mean, is that the boost that Star Wars needed?
No, that was my point.
Yeah.
Hollywood ends itself. We saw this story. This is a response to the story in Variety about Hollywood turning into the new Detroit. This is the inexplicable suicide of Hollywood. This is from Mama the Magazine, a blog here. Alan, I know you have notes. Give me what's in this story. This story is a response to that story, adding more information. Go for it.
All right, this is a long one, so hang on.
Let's go.
So this is from the perspective of the author. In my view, Hollywood's decline isn't primarily the result of strikes, streaming regulations, and changing audience habits. Those are symptoms, not the disease. The real problem, as I see it, is the industry has become consumed with politics, ideology, and activism at the expense of making entertaining commercially successful films and television. I've heard countless explanations for Hollywood's struggle, from superhero fatigue to social media and the economy, but the industry refuses to acknowledge the most obvious answer. Audiences simply aren't enjoying much of what we're producing. Instead of focusing on art and commerce, Hollywood shifted toward making projects considered important and imposing ideological litmus tests throughout the business. The cultural shift accelerated after moments like Oscar So White, and Me Too, creating an environment where identity and political messaging increasingly took precedence over storytelling and profitability. The industry abandoned the old formula of using mainstream hits to support more personal projects and instead embraced a model that prioritized activism, even if it alienated audiences. The irony is that Hollywood would rather watch itself shrink than admit its role is in decline. People blame capitalism, streaming, AI, or viewers themselves, but almost never the quality of the content or the ideology shaping it. That's why Hollywood isn't dying from outside forces. It's choosing industrial suicide to it's choosing industrial suicide by refusing to put entertaining audiences ahead of politics. The recent success of low-budget films like Obsession and Backrooms only reinforced my belief that audiences still want movies. They want movies worth seeing.
I mean, a lot of people had a response to that article in Variety, probably the third or fourth one in the last less than a year that's, claiming that Hollywood has become the new Detroit. I think here's my perspective is Hollywood will not end as an industry, but Hollywood being based in Hollywood will end. In the same way that, and I say this as someone who comes from Detroit, the auto industry left Detroit. The auto industry didn't go away. People buy cars, but they buy them from Toyota. They buy them from overseas manufacturers. They buy them from new companies like Tesla. So the auto industry didn't go away. It left Detroit. And what's happening is Hollywood's not going away. People are still going to the movies. The audience may have shrunk in theaters and spread to elsewhere on streaming. But the city of Hollywood is not the center, no longer, especially in light of the recent election and how bad things have gotten. I've seen the most dramatic decline of the city of Los Angeles and Hollywood in the last 5 years than at any other time I've been here. So it's sad to see. It's the industry's not local. The talent, still the best talent in the world, is still here, but they're making movies. They're making the new Superman Man of Tomorrow is being made in Atlanta, or they're making shows in the UK. So, and I believe all of this is self-inflicted. Do you have any thoughts or perspective on this, Alan?
Yeah. Here, let me pull this up.
Sure.
Take yours down.
Sure. Okay. It's all you now.
There we go. All right. So these are the top movies so far this year. Super Mario Galaxy. But look at the top 10 top movies this year. Michael, A Lionsgate. Project Hail Mary. Okay. The studio.
Amazon. That's Amazon.
Amazon. But Obsession is number 5. Backrooms is number 8. It's the fact that we see 3 indie films here for the most part, breaking the top 10. And the other question is, of these, I think Project Hail Mary is the only studio film that people think is basically the best movie of the year. The others, no one's talking about these other movies at all. And the point is that, I think the issue is, when you say Hollywood is basically the big studio system, and the big studios just they're still lost, and they have no idea where they're going. They have no idea what they need to do, and as we've been saying, this is the opening that indie film is going to need to take, and indie film looks like it is actually doing it this year.
Well, I think original films. I mean, Obsession, to be fair, was shot in Burbank.
Okay.
Of all places.
Yeah, I mean, look, Obsession is the only original film. The others are still adaptations of things that the audiences love
or previously existed, like Backrooms.
Right, or video games. I mean, again, these are things that that Gen Z, the young people have fallen in love with over their lives. And someone went and said, okay, let's make a great version of it. And that's what they did.
Let's go to your comments. We have a lot of them. We have films to review. So let's start with the people who are very generous and do soups. We prioritize those. So
yeah. Francisco Sanchez Jr. for 5. Who needs AI scripts when these reviews are connected to the same brain? Yeah.
Yeah, true. I mean, yeah, even like, you're right, Francisco. So many of these movies feel like they're written by AI because in a way, like the latest Alien movie, Alien Romulus, people described it as a greatest hits of Alien. It's like a remix of things you've already seen, which is what AI does. AI cannot create anything original. AI, as it applies to art, you feed it a set, like a library of data, it spits out a remix of that data. And that's kind of what like a Predator Badlands feels like it was written. When you say something feels like AI and it's not, it's because of that, because it's based on so much pre-existing material.
Yeah. Well, let me speak to those reviews. There's nothing nuanced about those reviews at all. You know, if I were to imagine what these people would say to shill for those movies, they said it. She's great. She's fierce. It's an emotional story. You know, Jason Momoa, you know, loves it. You know, he's the perfect person for this role. There's just nothing nuanced about it. Nothing specific to the film they just saw. It's just hype for a movie, and it's general hype. Nothing specific.
More Andrew Cram gifted 10 Film Threat memberships. Thank you, Andrew. Big supporter of the channel. We appreciate you. And new members, check out the members only videos.
Okay, Paul J. Davey for 5. Favreau got an executive producer credit on every movie Tony Stark was in. Of course, he was against killing him off.
Yeah, you're right. Makes sense.
But didn't we read an article where he wound up accepting it and thought it was a great idea? Ultimately, it was a great idea. Yeah, hey, Box Office Brawler for 199. Hey guys, Death of Robin Hood was a bit disappointing. Oh, we haven't reviewed it yet. Appreciate
it, Brawler, but I want to hear what Alan has to say.
Yeah.
So we'll get
to it. Patrick Lemire, it was a bad decision. Look at the coping hoops. They had a great RDJ back. Even Star Trek immediately knew Spock was way too important to kill for real.
Yeah, they brought him back in the very next movie.
Right. Well, the point being was, you know, we kept saying they should have just ended it there. Yeah. Shut the MCU down for 10 years and then restart. Yeah. Razor Burn. I love Wookiee Monster. Yes, it was Chilla the Wookiee Monster.
Hey, Razor, how's it going?
Christopher Moonlight Productions. I remember seeing Hardware Wars on my local television station as a kid. I think they played it before they played the actual movie.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Tony Elias, Disney might be forced to sell off Star Wars Lucasfilm before they get a chance to try to remake the original trilogy. They're not selling it.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah. Chicken Wing. I think we want them to sell it, but they're not selling it. Chicken Wing. Took a girl to see Obsession yesterday. Fucking terrible idea. Do not do that.
It's not a good date.
So you didn't get lucky that night. Let's just although Liu Kui, she's so imperfect and that makes her so perfect.
Exactly.
Razor Burn. That's the heroine's journey, by the way. Razor Burn, they should hire me as a paid shill. I'm a pretty good bullshitter. Mob. Super hobo girl. Palm. Why make a Mad Max movie when it's a Supergirl movie?
Exactly. It's a Supergirl movie.
It's for the boys.
Yeah.
For the boys.
Yeah. So, hey, it's time for reviews, and we have an interview subject coming here at 20 past the hour. But let's start with our reviews. We might have time for a few more news stories, but let's do this. The Death of Robin Hood. Alan, you saw this film with Hugh Jackman. We saw the kind of depressing trailer. So I want to know, is the movie like the trailer, and what is this movie? I haven't heard a lot of hype about it.
Okay, well, let's start off by saying it's all in the title.
Oh no.
That's this movie. So Yeah, I'll go into it. When watching this movie, I wasn't expecting to get what I got, but that doesn't mean it's a good movie. Robin Hood, played by Hugh Jackman, is introduced as an aged, battle-worn outlaw, still killing without remorse. He's lives out in the I believe it's Ireland. I could be wrong, but he's out in the frozen tundra of Ireland, trying to survive. And a little girl wanders out there trying to find Robin Hood, and things don't turn out so well. Later on, I don't want to spoil what happened there, but later on, he runs into a man, Little John, played by Bill Skarsgård, and Little John has taken the persona of Edward, and this is kind of the heart of this, or the foundation of this movie. But what happened was Little John killed a man named Edward. He took his identity, went to his farm, took over the farm and his wife, and just lived his life as Edward. That was until the townspeople figured out what was going on and basically ran him out, and took over everything. And so he enlists Robin Hood to go and take his farm that he stole back, and take his girl back. And things end up horribly wrong. And I'll say the first act of this movie is ultra violent, ultra gory. I could not watch most of the first act because, I mean, it's brutal. You know, you have arrows, you have axes, and you have maces, and they are used in the way you would use them in real life. And the effects are one of the way you would see it in real life, these weapons being used. And so what happens is, when it's all said and done and dozens of people die, the only people left is Robin Hood, who is basically mortally wounded. You have Edward and his daughter, Margaret, and they need to escape. But because of Robin Hood's state, he can't really travel, and they can only take him so far, or they're going to get caught themselves. And so they take Robin Hood to an island off the shore. And the island is basically run by the nuns, and they nurse Robin Hood back to health. And is there that this is kind of the emotional part of the movie, the second act, where Robin Hood basically has to face his reality. The fact that, and this is what the movie stresses, is this idea that Robin Hood was a myth. You know, robs from the rich, gives to the poor. But the reality is that may have been the way Robin Hood started, but by the end of Robin Hood's life, he just became this brutal killer. You know, they indiscriminately kill people because they need their money or they need their food that they have. And so he's become this true bandit. And Robin Hood is a very good one. And let's just say he's left a lot of bodies in his wake over his life. And this is the second half is basically his time on this nunnery island, to where he gets to reflect on his life, but ultimately has to confront his past. And that's what this movie is. Look, again, this is not the movie I expected. I thought it was interesting, the idea of this mythology that is Robin Hood, and the Hugh Jackman character kind of reconciling with that mythology. You know, that the person he's become is not the person that he started as. And my issue is that the movie, the emotional part of the movie, the heart of this movie was so mediocre that it just didn't. It was like, really, you have such a great idea here. You know, the idea of a man who has to confront his past, or whose past is ultimately going to force himself to confront him. And it's just done in a way that has just felt like a thud, and it was kind of mediocre. And here's the thing. The way drama works is it works on extremes. You know, your lowest point has to be so far from your highest point in this movie. The idea that if he ever reconciles himself or finds some kind of redemption, there needs to be an extreme emotion attached to it. And I finally figured it out. That first act where all this ultra violence occurs, where your heart is just racing because you're seeing people being killed in brutal ways. That is extreme. His reconciliation needed to be just as extreme on the other end. And the problem with the movie is it swings really high in the first act and just kind of slowly swings back and then doesn't go the other direction. There's no momentum the other way. And so you don't have an extreme moment that matches in the end, that matches the extreme moment in the beginning. And so, the best thing I could say about this movie is there is a really good idea in this movie and it couldn't pull it off.
Well, yeah, I got that sense even from the trailer. It was very dark. And I don't mean just dark content wise, like what we were seeing visually, but it's like, it just looked dark. Like you can't see. I'm really getting sick of this trend of movies that are so dark, you can't see what's going on.
Yeah.
I mean, this looked like that as well.
Yeah. And the other thing is like, there are things that happens to Robin Hood on the island that is great ideas, but it just, you're just not feeling the emotional weight that moment should have been. And I don't want to spoil any of it. But this is, to me, it's a hard movie to watch, especially the first act. And then the payoff is just, it's like wah wah. It feels like a British drama. Sorry for you Brits out there.
So do you recommend it?
No. I mean, good performance.
Even with Hugh Jackman, it's a pass.
Yeah, it's like I'm not faulting any of the performances. I love the performances here. No one's bad, but again, the thing about redemption is that when you receive redemption in your life, forgiveness, grace, it should have an overwhelming impact on your soul, and you just don't get that in this.
Let's go to comments. We'll go through these.
Yeah. Shucksy, remember for 46 months. I finally saw Obsession in the Backrooms. Really love the Backrooms. Obsession disturbed me so much. I never want to see it again. That third act. I can't.
Yeah, some people feel that way. I can tell you. Thanks, Shucksy. That's great.
All right. Chase the Normie, awesome. Logan Hood. I mean, it's more violent than Logan. The original Captain Durag. Does Robin Hood have enough Asian representation? It has 0 Asian representation. Now
I'm interested. Thanks, Durag.
I knew you would be. Andrew Cram, this film would have weighed if dying Robin Hood had a coming to Jesus moment. Look, he might have, but based on the performance, you would never know it.
Let's talk about Toy Story 5, a movie that I'll say I don't think needed to be made. I think this film with Lily Pad being the new toy to rival the other toys, this might have been better as a short film, having now seen it. And I'll say I disagree with your review, Alan. You gave it a rave review. You said it was going to make $1 billion. And I half agree with you. I do think it'll make $1 billion because worse animated films have made $1 billion. Zootopia 2, other films, I think are just lesser movies. I just think this is unnecessary. I feel like the fact that Woody was kind of sidelined as like a side character in this. I didn't feel the emotional weight like others who've seen the film. So I'm just countering what you've said. While I agree it's going to make $1 billion, I was not really into it. The best part of the movie is Lily, the lily pad, who, when the character goes lost at a certain point, out of her own shame that she made Bonnie feel bad over some bullying that happened over the pond or whatever,
over tech,
over tech, right? I like the idea of the toys dealing with how do they deal now and compete with tech. People don't. The opening of the movie, I was there.
Yeah.
When they're looking at all the homes And it's like, it's happening everywhere. Toys, kids don't play with toys. And this is true in the toy business. The business itself, sales. I mean, you look at sales of toys, it's all about pads and video games. That's it. You know, that's what kids deal with. They're not into as much of the tactile toys. But I'll say I wasn't as blown away as you were with it. I like the themes, but I feel like it's so thin. Did it need to be an hour and 42 minutes? I felt like it would have made a great 10-minute, 20-minute short. They used to do shorts. These little shorts with these characters.
Even with the Toy Story characters, they made.
Yeah, they made shorts. I wasn't as blown away as you were. We haven't gotten into spoilers yet. I'm not sure how much people care, but again, I was waiting for the movie to get going. It never got going for me. Now, I have to admit, I did see a 3:00 show because I had to see another movie, and it was a crowd of mostly kids. There were kids and parents, which is the audience.
And how did they respond to the movie?
They loved it and clapped at the end.
Yeah.
They loved it. They clapped at the end.
Okay.
I could hear little kids crying and talking here and there, but that's what I'd show.
There were kids crying in my theater too.
It was a 3:00 show. I knew there'd be kids there, but they clapped at the end. They loved it. Lily Pad is now part of the family. I think we'll see a 6 that will complete the trilogy for Bonnie. I think that's what this will do. And, maybe we'll see further adventures with Lily Pad. I just wasn't as emotionally invested as I was in previous Toy Stories. I really think the third one was the best end. And I really wonder, like, at what point does a series of movies like actually hurt the brand? I do know that there's statistics on this. Sales of previous movies in the series. So when a new movie comes out, whether it's a Toy Story 5 or name a part 3 or 4 or 5 of anything, the previous movies get a bump in sales on VOD, interest in streaming. Like, it increases the value of the past library. But as we saw with Star Wars, people are more interested in the classic films than what's happening with this now. Let
me ask you a question about what you just said. Does Toy Story 5 ruin the first 3 movies?
I'll say this. It doesn't. It's a new story to me.
It's a continuation.
It's a new chapter.
Right. But when you compare it to the Star Wars sequels, when you compare it to things like Starfleet Academy, those ruined the originals.
Yeah.
Toy Story 5 doesn't. It's just the continuation. And I said it in my review, and I'll say it now. Look, the first 3 movies are perfect. They're great. That's Andy's story. You can take those 3 movies, box it up, and watch it over and over and over again. This one, it takes the next chapter. It goes to Bonnie, who's a girl. And now it takes it, the first 3, I would say, we discussed this before the show, but the first 3 movies is predominantly for boys. Right. There, girls like it. There are elements for girls. The second movie had Jesse's story in it, but Jesse's story was the B story. It was a boys movie. This is decidedly a girls movie from a girl's perspective, which to me is okay. I think it's fine to have to now shift perspectives and say, okay, how does a girl approach toys? No, she's not using Barbie toys, but you do have the whole horse thing. But for me, look, the first 3 stands on its own. Wrap it up. It's great. And I think this one is perfect for today, for girls. And there was certainly plenty of stuff in this movie for boys. That opening sequence with the Buzz Lightyears, even the Buzz and Woody story, Buzz may be a bit emasculated, but Woody certainly wasn't.
Buzz was 100% emasculated when they did
but
the wedding.
Again, that's that story being told from a girl's perspective.
Yes, like they made Buzz Lightyear was made to be feminized in this.
Yeah,
Buzz Lightyear, the character. There were the Buzzes, which I think the Buzzes, sort of army of 50 Buzzes that somehow got, abandoned or whatever. Like, I actually, that was my favorite part. I thought that was so funny the way that evolved. And it was the B story or even the C story in the movie. It was just a running thread, but it did have a payoff, which I love the payoff.
And I'll be honest, I got choked up. I got choked up at the Jessie story near the tree, the revelation there.
Where Jessie found out her life had meaning. Her life as a toy had meaning to her first owner.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah. So look,
let me make one more point. The first thing is you say that this movie did not need to be made, except that this movie, after it's all said and done, will profit Disney $500 million. So yeah, the movie needed to be made.
It did need.
You're not going to make a short film. Look, if you have something that's going to make $500 million for your company, you make the movie, and this movie is going to do that.
Well, the one thing I'll say about it, other than the Buzz thing, and I would side with you and actually defend Buzz being feminized. It's through the lens of a girl playing with Buzz.
Yeah,
it isn't Buzz.
That's the distinction you have to make between the first three movies and these next three. I honestly, it should end here. This one wrapped up very nicely. But that's the distinction you have to make. This is toy 1 through 3 is for boys, 5 is for girls, and that's fine. There's no problem with that.
And I promise you, mark my words, it's not going to end here. There will be a Toy Story 6
because Disney wants another $500 million.
There needs to be a Toy Story 6 for more money. I'll just say I was not as enthusiastic as you. I was even bored at times. There's very little action, but this is 100% for women. It's for girls, mainly because even the horses. You know who loves horses? Girls and women love horses.
What was the first 3 movies? It was Buzz Lightyear, the space toys. That was right. That was the whole point. Was Woody was being taken over, being replaced by Buzz Lightyear and Star Command. That's a very boy theme versus this one, and that's why Jessie takes the front seat in this movie. This is her movie compared to Buzz and Woody.
I'm not. It's a mild recommend from me, not over the top love. And 100% will make north of $1 billion. Mm-hmm. I think the estimates for the box office are like 150. I mean, insane. It's gonna be. It'll be number one the second weekend, I believe, as well.
I mean, you just have to go with the reaction of the kids in your audience.
Yep.
That right there is the reason why this movie will succeed.
And guess what?
The same thing happened in my theater too.
And then guess what? They all clapped.
Mm-hmm.
All clapped. And the audience I saw it with were paying customers.
Yeah.
So
guess what? They're going to see it again. They will 100% see it again.
Let's go to the people.
All right. Critique Corner. Remember, for 42 months. I agree with Quentin Tarantino. They should have stopped with Toy Story 3.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Critique Corner.
Except they're going to make $500 million with this one. The Skeleton King for 2. I enjoyed it. I thought it had a good message. Yeah, it was safe.
Very safe.
It was from a girl's perspective.
Yeah.
Film Threat. One Punch Fan for
thanks
20.
For the 20. Thank you.
Chris Allen, have you ever had me goring fried noodles? It's my favorite just because goring are my favorite film bros.
Oh, thanks, One Punch Man. That's really generous, and I'd love those noodles. I love them.
If I wasn't on a keto diet right now, I would jump on those. Garth Knight Returns. I have a sneaky suspicion that Alan was highly inebriated on pizza and hoagies at his showing of the Toy Story. No, I'm on a diet. I'm on a keto diet. I wish.
Hey, let's talk about this horror film, Leviticus. This film is, it's just so you know, going in, it's gay. It's about two closeted gay teens, and they're attracted to each other.
I can tell.
Yes. They're Ryan, played by Stacey Clausen, and Name, played by Joe Burke. It's an Australian story set in Australia. Ryan and Name are having a secret affair because they both go to the same church and same high school, kind of ignore each other in high school, but they have secret rendezvous in which they wrestle and occasionally make out. And it gets heated at times.
69.
When Name finds Ryan with another boy, he feels betrayed that he was cheated on, and then he reports to the church he saw Ryan kissing another boy, and they do a ceremony. They take the boys, and they're gonna do a conversion therapy on them, a little ceremony that puts them into like an epileptic fit, and then one of the other boys is killed in a completely strange way. What odd things begin to happen when Name is approached by Ryan. He sees his friend, who he's still attracted to, even though he feels guilt from exposing him to the church. And a strange entity takes the form of Ryan and tries to kill Name. So it's almost a little bit like the movie It Follows. So it's shades of it, or tones in the same way, the tone. So you'll see the person you are most into, the person you most desire, take on the form of that other person and then try to kill you. So every time Name and Ryan see each other, they're like attracted, but they're like, are you the entity trying to kill me, or are you the real person? And that's basically what happens in this movie. Honestly, I like this a lot more than I thought. Yes, it's a gay story. That might turn off some people. It's not too explicit. It's just, what I like about it too is most horror is based on female lead characters, or what they call the cliche of the final girl. There's no final girl in this because there are no girls in this. I mean, we see Name's mom and there are other female characters, but they're not major characters at all. So you're constantly left with what's going to happen. How is this entity doing this? It's a mystery. And I will say, movie is short. It's 90 minutes. I liked it better than I thought. I saw a trailer at CinemaCon. I was like, I don't know if I care about this. I only found that sometimes the Australian accents are so thick, I couldn't understand what the people were saying. I wished there were subtitles. And Name as the lead character is Naim. I was like, the character's name in the movie is Name. That's his character. It must be an Australian thing.
I think you need an accent when you say it.
Yes, I'm not good at that. I'm not even going to try. But look, if you're into horror, if you like the movie It Follows, if you like films that have like a religious subtext and spiritual demons, I actually would recommend it. So a bare recommend.
Wow, okay.
but not a like rush to the theater. You can catch it on streaming or whatnot. I will say that like the gore, there's some really good gore effects. Again, not going to ruin anything. So can't believe it. Like you, Alan, who saw Pillion and recommended the gay romance, I'm recommend the gay horror film Leviticus.
It's funny, the gay movies that everyone wanted us to see, we actually kind of liked.
Let's go to your comments.
No, I gotta say, I'm proud of you for actually going through and watching this movie. Because all I can say is you weaseled out a Pillion.
No, all I can say is promises kept. Promises kept. I promised I would see a gay horror film, and dang it, I saw a gay horror film.
You promised you would see Pillion, but you didn't.
I failed.
Okay. Glad that returns. So this is a movie about two guys who share a love of monster trucks, right?
If trucks means what's in your pants, then yes. Thank you.
Jason Nelson for 2. Alan, no nooner. Chris forgot he saw Furious.
No.
He okay?
Jason, I misheard. I was look. Gary asked me, and I thought he's like, "Have you seen the Furious?" I was like, "Oh no." But I didn't hear him. I was look when I'm on the nooner. I'm also like kind of like trying to line up stuff for Gary. But yes, Jason. Thank you for calling me out.
So you gotta understand that no one misspeaks on a live stream.
Yeah, everyone speaks perfectly.
I know, except us apparently.
Yeah.
Andrew Cram for 10. Is Leviticus better than Pillion? I would see Pillion before I saw Leviticus.
Thanks, Andrew. Thanks for the 10.
I mean, there's some butt sex in Pillion. Pepper Peter Piper Pickled says, "Hey Alan, congrats on the keto diet. If you want to drop weight, I've had wild success with the OMAD keto diet, the meal being midday." Oh yeah, I'm messing around with a lot of that, but yeah, I'm actually at the lowest weight I've been in probably in 30 years right now.
I can't wait because we're going to happy hour on Monday before Supergirl.
Yeah,
and you'll probably not.
And I'll be eating that Caesar salad again.
Or you can have the. You know what's good is the sashimi. The sashimi is really
rice,
good.
Though, isn't it?
No, that's sushi.
Okay. Oh, okay. I'm gonna give it a try.
We have an interview coming up momentarily with Burt director Joe Burke, but let's talk about Citizen Vigilante, what I believe will be one of the most controversial films released this year, on the level of Sound of Freedom. You will see people wildly praise this movie when it discusses the themes. It is a very cliched exploitation movie in the vein of a Death Wish or a Taken or an old Dirty Harry movie with Clint Eastwood, a revenge exploitation movie about an Avenger going off to right the wrongs of people who have not received justice from our judicial system. And there are people going to criticize it for being racist, for being Islamophobic. But I think in light of recent events in the UK, it could not be more timely. Armie Hammer stars as a mysterious figure. I don't even know if I remember his name.
It's Sanders.
Yeah, Sanders is the character name. Other members of the cast is Costas Mandylor, who I haven't seen in a movie in years. And Armie Hammer's character Sanders meets a young woman in the hospital who's been brutalized by one of the gangs of people who do horrible things to women
in the EU.
In the EU, make of that what you will. He begins to track down the perpetrators who have done that. In the meantime, he's rendering justice only on those who deserve it. And what do they all look like? The people having the justice done to them seem to look a certain way. I'm not saying because that's what the movie's doing. The movie may have been plucked from the headlines. You know, we saw that Netflix series that was widely praised about, the young boy who went rogue, the white. This is not really what may actually be happening with a certain part of the population. And the movie opens with a quote. And, and I will say, in pure Uwe Boll fashion, it's extremely violent. I mean, the film opens with a young blonde woman and her son.
Yeah.
Her son, they're shopping in a little grocery mart and they're innocently walking down the street when, I'll just say it, a black man with a knife goes up and for no reason slits her in the throat. Where have we heard that one before? On the news, perhaps? You can't, this movie is a kind of movie we've seen many times. a revenge thriller, a vigilante rendering justice, just trying to get some payback for the people who the justice system let go. And if you know anything about a certain report that was recently released in the UK, you'll know this is not based on any particular case. It's based on lots of different cases, not the vigilante aspect, but the cases, the crimes themselves. And kudos to Armie Hammer, who, got canceled for, he cheated on his wife and sent some explicit texts to a girl who made them public. Probably a bad choice. He made some bad life choices for which he paid with his career and his family.
Mm-hmm.
But Uwe Boll, offered this movie to Armie Hammer, and they shot it in Armie. He kept it real. I mean, the guy, he gives no F's. He went for it. It's extremely violent. And I will say this, I have a visceral reaction whenever I see cases like this, because I'm a father to a daughter. Alan, you're a father to a daughter. The thought, I don't fear death. I fear anything happening to my kids. The amount of rage, or even the thought of that happening, I get like tensed up, where I could see myself driven to doing something I shouldn't if that were to occur. So the feelings that this movie taps into are very visceral for me. I'm not sure how you felt, Alan. I would recommend this movie with a warning, and it's already being banned. It was banned in Germany. I assume it's going to be banned in other countries based on how headlong it goes into this issue. And the third act in particular makes no bones about what this movie's trying to convey in terms of its themes and ideas. It's like very explicit. It's not just an exploitation movie. It's explicit in its ideas.
He makes choices that you would be like, no American filmmaker would ever allow his character to make this choice.
No, the movie is an independent movie that Uwe Boll independently got financed and got Armie to be in the movie. And by the way, Armie really good in this.
Mm-hmm.
I could see this being a series of movies like the Rambo films or Dirty Harry or other films. I could see more in this series, but you're going to see the beginnings of a debate about this film. It is available. I did check. It is on VOD. You can get it, I believe, on Fandango. Let's see how long it stays there. But you're going to see country by country, people starting to ban it. A strong recommend from me, but a strong warning, very violent, and makes no bones about its message. Alan, what did you think?
What did I think? I kind of saw this as the Wright's version of One Battle After Another. In terms of, okay, so I'll preface it this way. I'm going to use the word empathy. And I think the left uses that word to basically shame you into saying you need to feel what these other people feel. While this movie has empathy because it just basically lays out what you're feeling. This whole common sense idea of what's going on in the world today. And, and that's the thing is this movie, when you watch it, and if you've been frustrated with what's going on in the world and in your own communities, you're going to say empathy. Because why? Because Uwe Boll understands what you're feeling, understands that this rampant crime, this violence against women and against others, these lootings that go on, while the world wants you to sympathize with the people who are committing these crimes, this one just ultimately says what you said. And this is wrong. It's 100% wrong. And finally, someone is willing to make a movie to basically lay out what we see and what we know. An example I have is, I just went to the LA Asian Pacific Film Festival, and they talked about Trump and how anti-Asian he is. And then they would show images of Asian elderly people being shoved in front of trains, of subway cars.
Who did the shoving?
Yeah, exactly. It's weird because they only saw the footage. They only showed the footage that showed black people doing this to Asian elderly. They didn't show it the white people doing it. Why? Why?
Yeah.
And this movie is just basically, it's like one battle after another, because the left, when they watch that movie, they're saying, finally someone understands what I'm feeling. This one is the exact same way. Finally someone understands what I'm feeling. Someone's out there basically stating the truth and of what's going on and committing it to film. And then you have the Armie Hammer character doing what we wish our law enforcement would do, and it's just prosecute these things. You cannot go in, loot a store and not prosecute. You can't, these assaults on women, and on, assaults period, someone, this character is the one who's putting justice out there. And that's the feeling I got. But at the same time, that it's that third act, because this is when justice is enacted, is executed, literally. No. And I was like, oh my God.
It went there. It
went there. And the question in my mind was, do we want to go there? And I think the issue that Uwe's bringing up is, unless justice and the laws are being upheld, we're all going to get pushed to that point, because the left has certainly been pushed to that point. I mean, they're willing to go the violent route. They're willing to attempt to unalive people, maybe presidents. How far is the average person going to be pushed? And that's kind of what that third act does, is he gets pushed, and he does things in this. I guess the point I'm going to make here is, the Armie Hammer's character to me was a dangerous character, even though he's doing the things that I wish he would do. At the same time, I was like, I don't know that I would condone this. And look, I think if I were making the second movie, let the character, let Sanders do these things. But in the second movie, there's got to become a point of reckoning where he's got to be confronted with his actions. And I think that would make a compelling second film. And to kind of see what mess we're later. That would be some really bold storytelling.
Yeah,
but definitely. This one is definitely the setup to what could be a really great second movie.
Yeah, or a series of movies, but I can see it taking different turns. They do. One other thread in the film is his adulation and praise on social media.
Yeah.
And I think what this movie is tapping into is the anger people are feeling that something isn't being done, that bad things are happening in the country, and this problem is not being addressed at all. And this taps into that anger. And you can call it racist all you want. It doesn't mean that what we're seeing in this movie isn't true. That
I mean, that's the question. Is the truth racist?
Is the truth racist? But a strong recommend from me with a warning. Alan, do you recommend it?
Yeah. And we will probably be the only people who review it on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, we'll be the only people.
Or yeah.
Let's go to your comments and see what you think.
A serious man married for 27 months. Been a while since I caught a live. Cheers. Namaste.
Well, look, this isn't live, the A Serious Man. You're dreaming right now. You're dreaming.
Caveat ties. How many times has Chris pushed Alan in front of a train?
Well, I couldn't do it because he was too heavy. But I think now that you've lost weight, I could. I'll try next time.
Okay, next time.
We'll see.
Tony Elias. So this film gets banned, but the latest Best Picture winner that glorifies domestic terrorism and doesn't paint people who murder police as awful, horrendous people doesn't get banned.
Yes, we do live in clown world, Tony.
Yeah.
True.
Our own Charmin, no confirmed UK release date. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is, well, you know, who's going to get to see this movie? I would not buy this movie online. I would get the physical media.
Yeah, well, I believe, don't quote me on this, I know it's on Fandango, but I'm in the US. If you had a VPN and had an account that said you were in the US, I'll bet there's a way to see the movie. And I do believe it'll be on Amazon. Amazon and Fandango.
And if the anti-free speech left really gets a hold of this, it may not even be available on Fandango and Amazon in the future. Where's my Zootopia 3 for $4.99? I hear Chris dissing my favorite movie. How dare he?
You know what? I liked Zootopia 2 enough. It was okay.
I
think overrated.
I mean, Inside Out 2 was okay.
Yeah. And hey, our interview subject, like both of them canceled today.
Really?
Wait. Hi guys, we're logged in, just confirming. What?
Did you give him the right link?
Maybe I didn't. Let's see. Hang on with me. Alan, read chat comments.
All right, let's Atomic Glory, if you can help me here. Computer Genius, Computer Geeks are us. I want this on physical media. I mean, I feel like the controversy hasn't grown yet enough to where they're gonna start pulling it from, or denying us access to it. Peter Piper Pickled. Chris hasn't pushed him in front of a train, but he's thrown him under the bus enough.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. The Introspect M. I'm sure all the Supergirl reviewers have it in the queue. They must have like revenge films. They must like revenge films. Yes. Oops, here we go. Pop Blender. Unfortunately, VPNs will become a thing of the past if Amazon has and Google have their way.
All right.
Yeah. I know I've tried certain things that says you can't do this on a VPN.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like there's this TV show in Australia that I really like, but they only show clips of it on YouTube. And so I did the old VPN and I couldn't watch the show in full because they wouldn't let me on the VPN. It's a really good comedy show. Garth Knight Returns. Yeah, you can interview me then. I have many leather-bound books and my home smells like rich mahogany. Yes. Let's see. Keep them coming. Let me see.
Hey, check this out. These are like some news stories for potentially, but check this out, Alan. You can make your face. We're gonna do this. We can make your face into a statue. This is from the Odyssey.
What?
FaceYourFate.app. You can take your face, scan the QR code. You can take your face and make it into a bust like the Odyssey. We are going to do this. That's going to be my...
Yeah. But I like this one. I love my shiz face.
Yes. Yeah. I still have that.
Here we go.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Thanks, Joe. All right.
I think we're waiting for one more. Is that right?
No, just Joe.
Just Joe.
Right?
Okay.
Okay, cool. All right. You know, we like to feature indie filmmakers here on the channel. Well, Alan and I saw a film called Burt. It's an indie movie, black and white, and we really want to talk about it. We have the director here, Joe Burke. Let's talk to him. Hey, Joe, how's it going?
And Oliver Cooper.
Hey, okay. We're good.
Hey,
how's it going?
Great. Good to see you both. This is awesome.
Thank you, Chris and Alan, for having us on. It's so awesome to talk to you both.
Hey, so
yes.
I just need to preface this by saying that if you want to be on the Film Threat live stream,
Now, Alan, I can't hear Alan. Alan, can you hear Alan?
Yeah.
I hear.
No. Yeah, can you hear?
What is going on with my phone?
Can you hear me? Chris, can you hear Chris? Or Chris say something?
I can say something.
Can you hear?
Anyways, let's talk about the movie.
I hear everybody.
Is this one of those where I'm not being heard? Okay.
It's not good.
No, I think it's a StreamYard thing. Yeah, no, but
Okay, let's start the interview.
I can only hear Chris and Oliver. I can't hear Alan. I don't know why.
Yeah.
You don't need to hear Alan.
Okay.
Joe, tell us the story of Burt, the sort of basic story, and how you put together the cast for this film.
Well, great question. Burt Berger, not an actor. He's a dear friend of ours. We met him years ago playing music at a restaurant in Malibu. And Oliver and I fell in love with this guy. And we're like, over the years, getting to know him. And long story short, we decided we got to make a movie with him. His spirit, his optimism, his music. We just had to shine a light on this guy. And so we ended up shooting at Burt's actual house with his actual roommate, Steve, who stars in the movie. And Oliver, professional actor, plays Burt's son. That's the fictional part.
I'm hardly a professional actor, but yes.
Yeah, well, how did Oliver? How did you get involved?
Well, I wrote the movie with. Well, Joe and I have been working. Joe and I have known each other since we were kids. He was friends with my older brother in Ohio. He made my bar mitzvah video, which was the first time I ever really did any.
Really?
Acting. Yeah, really.
That's crazy.
It was my first paid directing gig, Chris, and also my last.
Oh my God. Okay, that's funny.
And so we, Joe, when I moved to LA, I booked this movie Project X, and I kind of got my career going, but I wanted to, I knew Joe was making these films at AFI, and I wanted to make something different, like kind of a different style of things. And so Joe and I started making short films together, which led to making a feature film together before this called Four Dogs, and sort of a similar style, similar aesthetic. And and then we had met Burt Berger, and just one thing led to another, and we were like, we got to make a movie about this guy, and we wrote the story together, came up with the story together, and yeah, that's it.
Well, I will just say my comment, having seen the film, not since Napoleon Dynamite have I seen a more unusual performance from someone where it's just, that's the whole movie is this guy. That's what this is. His personality, his quirks, his talents. I've got a trailer queued up. Let's actually watch the trailer and check it out together. Here we go.
Hey, man. How you doing?
Burt Berger.
Sammy Kleiman.
Sammy Kleiman. Nice to meet you.
I think you know my mother, Patty Green.
Patty. I remember her.
Yeah.
How's she doing?
Fortunately, she passed away a few months ago.
I'm really sorry about your mom. We had a great time together.
Burt, there's really no easy way to say this, but the reason I'm here right now is you're my father.
You're kidding me. You're not kidding me. Mike, it's my son.
I didn't know you had a son.
I just found out. I want you to meet somebody.
God damn it, it better be important.
Steve, this is my son, Sammy.
Hey, how you doing?
What do you mean you have a son? 10 years you never had a son.
You're acting like he's a freaking axe murderer or something.
Look at the way he looks.
He's my goddamn son.
And this is my goddamn house and I have to protect it.
I'm a dad. I want to know this feeling. I want to explore this.
What's going on with the shaky?
Not Parkinson's disease.
What's your last name?
Is this unnecessary?
Asking him his full name? Yeah, that's more than necessary.
Next thing you want to know, you're going to want to see his driver's license.
Yeah, I'd like to see the ID.
Thank God. Really cool car. Love the dice.
I rented it off this old lady.
Do you have my rent?
I have most of it, okay?
You have 3 months.
I need your help. She's threatened to evict me, and I need you to get me some money.
What do you want, Sammy?
She's trying to wish my daughter a happy birthday. Is that a crime?
Yeah, you're not supposed to call it.
I made the bed for you. Sorry, there's no pillow. I'm going to tuck you in.
I can tuck myself in.
No, go on. You're my guest. Stick your feet in there.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm doing this for my daughter and for you. That's why I'm doing this.
So make it work. And get him where it hurts, which is the guilt that he hasn't been there for you your whole life.
Someday, everybody's going to know my music. Nothing's going to get in my way. Nothing. Not even Parkinson's.
My friend?
Please be careful with that guitar. Things will work out. And when they look the bleakest, sometimes the bright light shines out of nowhere and things work out. Want to have a catch?
Whoa, 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 whoa.
That was close. Looking forward to spending some more time with you tomorrow, kiddo. Need to get some sleep.
Night, Burt.
Good night, son.
It's out and available right now.
Yes.
And I gotta ask, like, how'd you put this whole thing together? And it reminds me of, I mean, I was smiling so much watching this because it reminds me of old school, really good indie movies, character based, slice of life, relationships, drama. You're like concerned, like I fall in love with the characters immediately. Like,
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, just
yeah. I mean, look, it was one of those things. So I've been in LA for 20 years. I went to, I've been making movies in Ohio since I was 8 years old. In fact, Oliver's older brother, Jason, was my best friend growing up, and he was my first actor. Now Oliver's acting in everything I do. But, I went to AFI for grad school. I've been out here in the industry forever, and I've been trying to, like Oliver said, we made our first feature years ago, but I've been trying to get going. I'm in the DGA. I've done some TV comedy directing, but I haven't quite found my footing. I pitched some big movies, it never happened, et cetera, TV shows, et cetera. I was turning 40. I'm like, I got to make another movie. And I keep thinking about Burt. I've known him for years. I kept hanging out with him. I'm like, there's something here. The world has to know this guy. He moved to LA, Chris, in 1974 to pursue music and never quite made it. He's always playing open mics and street music and whatever. And so I was just like, I was so called to like make a movie honoring him, featuring his music and everything. So when Oliver said, "Hey Joe, I got $7,000. Can we shoot the movie for $7,000?" I'm like, "Sure, let's do it." And he's like, "How many days?" I'm like, "I don't know, 7 days." And like literally 2 months later, we were at Stephen Burt's house shooting the movie.
Wow. What was behind the choice to make it black and white, which I think is great, but that's rough for some to suggest that.
You know what happened was we went over to Burt and Steve's house. I'd met Steve like right before that, and that was the point. I was like, when I met Steve and Burt and I saw their interactions, I was like, let's make this movie. Like officially, let's make this movie. And when I went to Steve's house with Joe and we shot some like really raw footage of kind of just giving them the prompts of what the movie was going to be about, me playing his son and blah, blah, blah. And so we shot this footage and Joe went home and kind of like cut together something. It was rough. It was just like little moments and stuff. And I watched it and I was like, Joe, why don't you put that in black and white? And I don't know I'm not like a black and white movie guy. I'm not like everything's got to be black and white. It's not even an aesthetic I really like. It's not that I don't like it or do like it. It's just not something I think about that often. But for whatever reason, it just hit me in that moment. Like there was something about their house and their faces and that I was like, I just feel like they should be in black and white.
And it gives it this timeless feel. It kind of like, it does three things. It plays into the theme of the movie, which is sort of this idea of a memory. Everything's already a past. Life's passing us by. That's thematically. Obviously, just textural wise, black and white works with tying the room together. And also on a low budget, like it's very forgiving, right? So it's sort of like it's just me and my DP. It's a 3-person crew. I mean, this is crazy. It's just me and my DP and a sound guy, and then Oliver's, of course, acting. So we just need to do a lot with the little. And the black and white, like Oliver said, just once we saw it, we couldn't go back.
Wow, 3-person.
By the way, can you guys hear me now?
Yes. Hi, Alan.
Okay, there we go.
That's great.
Right.
Alan, thank you.
I gotta say, Alan,
I gotta say that
real quick, Alan. Alan is the one that's like, you gotta see this movie. You gotta see this movie.
I'll tell you.
I'm so glad you did. Sorry,
the
Alan.
reason you two are here is because Joe, you accidentally ran into me at the Palm Springs press office and said, "Hey,
I remember very well.
Yeah, you got to see my movie." And I go, "Okay." Yeah. And I fortunately happened to be there that day.
Well, Alan gave me this look like, who is this guy bombarding me right now? I'm like, I'm a fan of you and the show. I love you and Chris. Please come see the movie. And you showed up, and it meant so much to me that you did show up. So thank you.
Yeah.
And so, Alan, you had a question.
Everyone's wondering if you're Ron Jeremy's son.
What's so funny is so not only everything I post these days, and I guess it is the mustache and maybe whatever, but I keep getting like Ron Jeremy. I'm like, gosh, everyone thinks I look like Ron Jeremy, which is not necessarily a great thing. But also, funny enough, about 5-6 years ago, before he got in a bunch of trouble, I mean, I had actually optioned his rights to for his book and his life rights. And it was that's a story for another day. But yeah, I was trying to make a movie about him. And then obviously, like, all these allegations and things came out, and I don't even know. So it just kind of fizzled. But yeah,
you have to play Ron Jeremy. you have to do it now. I mean, like, I mean, look, it's a tragic, it's a fall from grace.
I know.
It's the-
I'll tell
it's-
you a really funny story really quick. There was a producer, a big producer who was involved in this movie, has produced a lot of big movies. And he had read the book and he was really into the story and wanted to do it. And this is, again, before anything bad happened around Jeremy. And his whole story in his book is all about how he was a great guy and how he like never did any, you know, he would never drank, never did drugs, blah, blah, blah. And so he was like, I love this story, but there's no, like, what happens to him? There's nothing. There's no ending. And I remember after the movie fell apart, I called him up. I was like, "Hey, I think I got your ending. Like, have you seen every allegation that came out?"
I mean, I remember seeing the documentary. There's a documentary about Ron Jeremy, and
long time ago.
It's
Like the old one.
okay. It's okay. The one thing that stood out to me is one, how cheap he was.
Yes.
He's so cheap, and he never owned luggage. So when he would travel, he'd carry all his clothes in a garbage bag.
Yeah.
And just bring a garbage bag on a flight, like, this is my luggage, because he wouldn't buy a piece of luggage.
He was like full of like crappy one-liners. I remember I gave him my check for the life rights. It was like, I don't know, a couple of $1,000, and he hit the check on the table. He's like, didn't bounce.
I mean, bad dad jokes, but I mean, look, I mean, just like his adult film career, the biopic would have a rise and a fall.
Yeah. No, it didn't. When I first developed it, it really didn't have a fall. Now it has a fall, but I think people were so afraid of the, you know, obviously it's a lot of allegations and sexual assault and all that stuff. It's tough territory.
Well, we've got over 1,000 people watching live they've got a lot of questions. Oh my God, Alan, could we get through these questions?
Yes,
First of all,
do this.
Thank you to Sean Hu for 5 Film Threat memberships, but let's get to the people and their questions.
Okay, ADLs, you two have creatively collaborated on multiple projects at this point. Over the years, what skills have you brought out of each other and seen grow and develop? And what do you two have planned next?
I love that question. I'll go first, and I'm sure Oliver has an answer. Look, Oliver and I we're like brothers. We really are. I mean, we're basically family, and we are very honest with each other, and we really push each other. And when I'm maybe slacking or stepping out of my lane or whatever, he'll call me out and back and forth. And there's many times, even though we really are good collaborators. Here's the thing about me and Oliver. I think we bring the best out of each other. I think most, obviously, people who collaborate over and over, they do. But there is a growth. It's a relationship. There's a give and take. It's like, I mean, I don't want to say it's like a marriage. I've never been married. Oliver's married. But there's a give and take. And you have to push each other. Sometimes you get heated. Then you have to come back and be like, yo, I'm sorry about that. I didn't mean to lose my cool. But I think we've really honestly pushed each other to be better people, stronger storytellers. It's been awesome, honestly.
I mean,
I would agree.
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead, Al.
No, go ahead. Finish
I would say I agree with what Joe said. I think there is an element of one reason I always go back to Joe is, you know, listen, I think as everyone listening here has probably had something to do with Hollywood. We all know how many people you say, let's start a project and they never finish it. Joe is really good. If we really start something, that we are going to at least finish it, or if it's a big movie, obviously, and we need money, like it gets to the point where we're trying to do that. And it's like, I think that's something that's really valuable, is like just commitment. And and Joe, as you know, you guys know Joe, it's like he's relentless. And I'm not as much like that. So I think I need him to be like, yeah, push this thing out there. I don't want to do all that, you know? So it's a good yin and yang in that way, but there's so many things.
So, I mean, who wins arguments, or... You know,
we all take turns and win. I will say this though, not to embarrass Oliver, but he's the one that will hang up on the phone in the middle of the argument more. I hate that. I'm like, don't hang up on me. Oh, I have to call him back. Don't you ever hang up on me like that again?
We don't get into fights that often. I would say
no, we really don't.
Rare, but it's usually like, I'm pretty non-confrontational until I'm not, and then I'm like, let's go. It's all off. Let's go.
Oh, and Kevin guys wants to know, how did you gather your crew?
Yeah.
It's 2 people. So our DP, cinematographer, who did an incredible job, Daniel Kenji Levin. I met him in film school in Chicago when we were 20 years old. We moved out to LA together in 2007. So I've known him forever. We made a bunch of short films together. This is our first feature. So he shot it, did an incredible job with basically nothing. And then Rob Spence, our sound guy, we hired him through a friend. That was the crew. And I did makeup. I did craft service. I did the editing. I did the wardrobe. I was B-cam operator. Not to say it's all me. I'm just saying, in order to do a movie at $7,000, $7,000 budget, and like doing it for the passion project, as a filmmaker, I have to be willing to sacrifice everything and do the hard work, which I'm happy to do.
Joe is really good about, like, he was doing, not only was he doing, like, not that I had makeup there was no one wore makeup for that.
I was shaving his face a little bit.
But he was like, shave my face. He would do like under my eye, like when I got, there's a moment where I get punched.
There's a bruise in the movie, yeah.
And so, like, he would do stuff like that, and he was really good about, like, keeping track of continuity. He's very good about handling multiple different jobs, and I think that's the only way you could really even do a movie like this. I knew going into it, it wasn't like a question mark, can Joe make a $7,000 movie in 7 days? I knew from previous experience that this is something that was in his wheelhouse, because he is a one-man band, and he actually works better in some ways when he's operating in that way, when he has full control. So that's. So
what about shooting in black and white? What kind of considerations would you make that you would not normally make?
Well, it allowed us to move a little faster because we're not having to worry about color temperature with the lighting and stuff. So, like, it was a little bit more forgiving in that sense. It kind of, because we had to keep shooting, right? 7 days, and our trick was, we borrowed 2 cameras from 2 different friends. So again, keeping the budget low, it's like we had generous friends. That's a big part of it. So we had 2 cameras cross shooting. So when Burt's talking to Oliver, we're getting both of their conversations at the same time. I could do basically 1 take of the conversation. I got both angles already. Let's move on to the next scene, right? So it was sort of like that kind of working.
Yeah. We have comments and questions here too.
Bring them on.
Okay, Uncle Remus, Clerks with Parkinson's.
I'll take it.
I don't think I've seen Oliver since Californication. Well, I've been around. That's kind of offensive. No.
He worked with David Fincher on Mindhunter and did an incredible job playing David Berkowitz.
That's great.
All right. Liam Neeson's chin. Oh, lucky you. Physiologically, colors can make you prejudge things. Taking away the color in a film keeps everything on the same level, allowing you not to prejudge.
I love that. Yeah, we've had that. People said that. They said the black and white kind of allows us to really just connect with the characters in a different way. Just sort of just like everything's removed and you're just going straight to them. And that's cool.
One of the producers. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
ADL24. One of the producers on the film is David Gordon Green. How did he become involved with the picture? What did his experience making heartwarming American stories offer you both?
Well, so David and I worked on another show, Red Oaks, for the guy who didn't see me since California.
3 seasons of Red Oaks. Yeah.
Maybe go check that show. It's a good one. So Red Oaks, David Gordon Green was the director, producer on it. We became really good friends. He's kind of like a mentor to me a little bit. And so I always send him stuff, and I sent him the first cut of this, the $7,000 cut, I like to say, where we had finished the first edit, and I sent it to him, and he's like, he read it, he watched it immediately and was like, I feel like you made this movie for me. And I asked him, hey, would you want to come on board and like EP? And he's like, duh. And that was really it. And he helped us get the composer, and Tim Rutilli, who did the music, who's great. And and he's an amazing guy and very supportive. And also his earlier films obviously were an inspiration. I mean, George Washington and All the Real Girls. I think he comes from this background, so I knew it would mean a lot to have his name and him associated with this film.
So did he come in after Palm Springs, or was there a lot of changes?
No, so he came in before Palm Springs. So I'll give you a quick 2-second story. We shot in March of 2023. I edited that summer. We did a 5-1 sound mix in December of 2023. Here's the crazy story. We thought our festival year, Alan, was going to be 2024. And I submitted to Sundance, South by Tribeca, all of 2024. All no's, 28 rejections in a row, 12 months of rejection from every film festival we submitted to in the entire world. And I was sitting there being like, I got to move back to Ohio and like rethink my life. If I can't get Burt into a single film festival, I'm toast. It's the best I can do, basically. And then we played CineQuest in 2025 and went from there. And you caught us at the end of our festival run in January of this year, 2026 at Palm Springs. It was actually like our last film festival. So, but anyways, David Gordon Green came on
and
during the middle of the edit.
David actually said something really smart during that time. I was like, David, I can't believe this. Like, I was getting dinner with him. I was like, can you get into a festival? You got your name on this. The movie's great. It's like it's such like an independent. It personifies independent film, and especially even how we made it. And he was like, Oliver, he's like, look at how many films it was that year. He's like, look at how many films came out of Sundance and South by, and one of them sold. He's like, it's like the times are changing. He's like, it's not like when I was doing this film festival runs back in the day. He's like, you gotta crack the code. And we really kind of did from that moment on. And Joe wasn't there for that, but he always references that. And it's because it's like we kind of had to rethink how we approach this whole thing going forward, and it's bled into our distribution model as well. It's just like, don't rely on anybody, don't rely on all the traditional models. You got to go around the back door a little bit, and that's how we approach the movie.
Amazing.
I think you're thinking of the Ron Jeremy movie.
That's a good title, Chris.
Hannibal Graham, he nailed that Mindhunter performance. I need to revisit that episode.
Yeah, that's
It's
a good one.
episode 2, season 2, episode 2, right, Oliver? It's a great episode.
So, yeah.
Oh, okay. Tony Elias, don't have a question. Just want to say that I've enjoyed watching both of you guys work. Love you, Joe, in Ray Donovan and Good Trouble, and love you, Oliver, in Project X in California.
Hey, Tony.
Yeah.
You wouldn't? Okay. Gouda, I loved you in Red Oaks. That's where I recognize you from.
Heck yeah, thank you.
Is that the YouTube one?
No, Red Oaks is Amazon Prime. It was one of their original like series, like early, like I think it was like during transparent time, I think our last year was 2019.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Oliver, you played the lost son of David Duchovny's character in Californication. Did any part of playing that part inform the role in this film?
That's a great question.
That is a good question, and it's the first time I've actually thought about it. No, it didn't. It was a very different character, but unless it did subconsciously. But no, I didn't think about that. That's funny.
Love that question.
It's to me, it's a travesty. This did not play the fest circuit in 2024.
Yeah.
And I do think, I mean, look, I'm gonna be straight up. This isn't your opinion. This is my opinion solely. I think some of the major festivals, they stopped programming movies from certain kinds of filmmakers, prioritized others over that.
Yeah.
And you got passed over. This movie is awesome. It's great. From the first minutes of watching it, when it all kind of like, and then each thing kind of flips. There's like this, and I don't
There's twists and turns. We won't spoil it, but Chris, I'll be honest.
turns.
I watch your show all the time. I know you and Alan. I know what you guys talk about, your angles on stuff. That's why I really relate to you guys. I think there is something. Look, I'm not. It is what it is. It is what it is. I think that the festivals were in a mindset of a certain kind, and I think, thank God, I think it sort of has lightened up a little bit. But it's a black and white movie. There's no movie stars. We don't have a sales rep. No one knows who the hell I am. I'm this. I'm that. Whatever.
Hey, Oliver's right here. What do you mean no movie stars? What are you talking about?
He's a TV star.
I mean, come on. That's what you guy hasn't seen me since Californication. I'm dead. I'm old news. But I think you're right to some extent. I do think there's also this. I think a bigger part of it is really that the festivals have become more Hollywood, which is to say that they've become more like, who's opening the movie. And listen, I've been in some of these movies that whether I'm small parts, but that like, so and so's the lead of this movie, and it gets into this big film festival, and I'm like, I saw that movie, I made that movie, that was a piece of shit, and it's like they're premiering at the festival that we would have dreamed of to play at Burt. And so it's like I really think it's to do with like, how many tickets can we sell? It's just become another aspect of Hollywood where it's like, that's not where it's not really fair, and it's not Sundance and South by and those festivals back in the day used to be like the best independent films. And I think Palm Springs, of all the festivals we went to, I will say Palm Springs really had that energy, which is like, they really felt like, oh wow, they really care about like really quality.
I know,
and the audience there shows up regardless of who's in it.
Yeah, that was a full crowd for that. I was surprised, but you're right. I think the festivals you got into, I'm not surprised. Cinequest and Palm Springs. Did you try Newport Beach by any chance?
I think we may have.
I don't know.
We submitted to a lot. So basically, what happened was we submitted to 20 film festivals, all got no's. So we're paying for all those submissions. So
It's
very
shocking.
expensive.
Yeah.
It's shocking.
Yeah.
Well,
Within
I was shocked
5
too.
minutes, I was like hooked. How can you not program this?
We didn't even, the one that really, I don't even care if I'm throwing, because if I never play that festival, who cares? But it's, Slam Dance was one where I was like, how did I get into Slam Dance? You're
in LA.
Here in LA, and we, Burt has a disability, and we were in the disability category. We didn't even nothing. We got iced out from them.
Look,
I was, like, kinda shocked by that.
I'm all for diversity. I really am, but there is a lot of questions you answer now to all these film festivals, and it is a little bit like, okay, like what's it really matter? All these questions for? Just like, do you like the movie or not? Please, like. Anyways, I don't need to get into that too much, but I do think that was a part of it. I think it's also the time. It was also an election year. 2024 was a very sensitive year for people.
Yeah.
After the election, I think things just sort of, the world always changes after an election, no matter what. So that sort of shifted a little bit. And I'll be honest, it was a blessing in disguise because it forced me and Oliver to kind of like recalibrate completely. And actually, what I think we've designed, we did our own theater run, our own theater tour for a year. I emailed every art house theater in the country and said, will you program this movie for a week? And like, I didn't know you could do that, Chris and Alan. I didn't know you could do that, but they're like, yes. And so they play it for a week in Tampa, a week in Albuquerque, a week here. We're getting 50-50 rev share splits. We're touring the country. We're going all around the place. We're meeting people. We're doing the news programs. We're building our newsletter. And now we're doing our self-distribution deal. I say self-distribution. We're teamed up with Film Hub, but we keep ownership, which is amazing, right? The filmmakers actually keeping ownership of the movie because all these distributors are taking the films from the filmmakers and they're freaking, not giving them ever, you don't see $1 really. I mean, at least the middle tier, the low tier ones, maybe the IFCs and stuff. We didn't get a chance to talk to them too much, but anyways, point being, I love what we're doing. I love this sort of DIY approach. It's really exciting for us.
Yeah,
where your 3-person crew wasn't diverse enough. So
here's the website.
We were all Jewish. If that means anything, I don't know if that's. I guess being Jewish is not popular right now. And my cinematographer was half Japanese. But
I never thought I would see in my lifetime anti-Semitism make a comeback. It's popular.
Yeah. It's
got to end soon. The trend is just enough of the trend.
Well, frankly, for me, it's effing sickening. It's sickening. But joeburke.net/Burt is where you can get info. But it's on Amazon Prime. It's on Apple TV. Burt is the movie. Is there a Blu-ray coming with extras and all that?
So well, two things. Yes, I'll make it easy. If you just go to Burt the movie, I know it says my name, but if you just go to burtthemovie.com, that's the domain that forwards you there. So BURT, burtthemovie.com is a little easier for folks. Yes, we're going to work on a Blu-ray. Big news. This hasn't really been announced too much yet. We have an album. So Burt Burger, we have an album coming out next month, a movie soundtrack on vinyl, including Burt's music, his songs from the movie, and all the score. And it's already designed, ready to go. We're going to drop it July 17th. I think there'll be 500 copies. So we'll notify people that the first 500 that show up on the website or whatever when the link goes live. But doing that, hopefully the Blu-ray, and the movie's on Apple TV and Amazon right now. And we're just so thrilled.
And Oliver, I don't know why this popped in my head. You got to make that Ron Jeremy movie. I have a concept for the movie poster.
All right, let me know.
It's you. You're not wearing a shirt. It's just your face on the poster.
All right.
And all we see is a shadow of an enormous penis across your face. And the tagline, he's a big deal. He's a big deal.
Think the Phantom Menace
concept.
I mean, me and Ron Jeremy have a lot in common, so not that part. Though.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
Guys, hey, wait, one last comment from ADL.
Yes, Oliver is a movie star. This is ADL. He is Costa in Project X, which might be one of the last truly fun teen films ever made before social media took over and very much changed how kids grow up.
That's awesome. That's really
Amen
cool.
to that.
I mean, it's kind of crazy. That movie has I mean, I still am doing stuff, or getting reached out about stuff for Project X, and we're actually actively developing a sequel to it that's going to be different than the original, but same obviously aesthetic. And it's just crazy. That movie has you never think that you're going to make something in any way that is going to last 10 plus years, where I was in France and my friend's kid is 17 years old, and him and his buddies all love that movie. It's wild but they don't have they don't have their version of that. That's the other thing is that they haven't made, because of Hollywood changed so much. It's I just saw something with Seth Rogen. He's Superbad doesn't get made today, and he's right.
Yeah.
And Superbad is I love Project X. Superbad is an incredible film.
Rainn Wilson just said that about The Office, which, by the way, I don't like that mentality. We have to go back to where you can make movies like that again. Mm-hmm. That's what it has to be. And by the way, I'm not related to Burt totally, but Burt, we just wanted to make movies, just good movies. I don't care. Just make stuff that's good. If it's quality, it's quality. Go for it.
Yeah.
Well,
I think it will happen,
congratulations.
though. I do think there's something in the air that feels like, I think the YouTube generation, the TikTok generation, whatever you want to call it, they're doing it online. All the shit that's being sent to me on social media is the most perverted, funny, ridiculous. My friends, that's where I get my comedy. Is like my friend sends me a funny video of somebody. It's like that's how I'm getting my fix. And then I watch television and movies, and I go, okay, I guess that's what I think we lost Joe.
Oh, we lost Joe.
Yeah.
We're gonna wrap it up there. Congratulations again, everybody. Go see Burt
Please,
on VOD.
please, thank you.
And,
also, real quick, just one quick thing. We are donating, but Burt has Parkinson's.
Sorry,
Joe's
my bad, guys.
Oh, good.
I'm back.
Hope you can hear me. Burt has Parkinson's. Joe's dad has Parkinson's. We really, it's the movie's not about Parkinson's. It's about a guy who has Parkinson's, but we are honoring the Parkinson's community. So we're working with PCLA Foundation here in Los Angeles, and we're donating a portion for the first month of the movie's release right now to PCLA, which is really cool. So another reason to help support the film.
All right, congratulations. Come back when you've got your next movie. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
And by the way, you are eligible to be nominated for Award This. We do an annual award show.
Can you guys hear me? I'm so sorry.
Oh, we can hear you perfect.
So if you can hear me, I'm sorry.
We can hear you, but you are eligible to be nominated for Award This. I know you're on our short list already, right, Alan?
Yes.
So that's
awesome. At least 3 categories.
At least 3 categories.
Very cool.
We'll let you know, and we hope to see you in February next year for our awards event. It is the biggest event of its time awarding truly independent movies.
That's awesome.
So hope to see you guys there. Take care. Have a great rest of your weekend.
Fantastic. Thank you
Later.
so much. Thank you guys.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
That was awesome. That was awesome.
That's how I like talking to indie filmmakers.
Yeah, same. I just you kept raving about this movie, and I was like, whatever. I finally, within 5 minutes, I'm hooked. Yeah. I'm hooked. It's like one of those, it's all about weird characters and situations that are flipping, and it's just so many great moments. So loved it. Anyways, that wraps it up for us. We'll be back Monday with Versus. With our panel, maybe a different panel. We're going to try out some new folks. We'll see. Because some folks are not able to make it. If you're not able to make it, let me know. Because we have other people dying to be on. And there we go. Alan, what do you got coming up?
Let's see. I'm just seeing movies this weekend.
Yeah,
Not
same
sure
here.
which ones.
Same here. So that's it. We got a thanks to our mods, Lord Thoth, MK Solid, ADLS 24. Great questions today, ADLS. And Olique on Rumble, Atomic Lori. That's it for us. I'm seeing movies. I'm gonna watch the World Cup. America plays, the USA plays today. You gonna be watching, Alan?
No, but there's some Korean restaurants I've frequented, and they're having watch parties there.
Well, they lost yesterday.
Yeah, I know.
In a really embarrassing way,
Wow.
where the goalie dropped the ball.
Yeah, and they have a beef.
The one goal in the game, the Korean goalie dropped the ball, and Mexico kicked it in.
Yeah, and apparently the South Korean team refuses to address the South Korean press for a couple reasons.
Oh wow.
I know, a little behind the scenes controversy there.
Well, for your sports news, don't come to us because I'm just there to enjoy the fun and the game. Have a great weekend, everyone. Alan,
let's get out of here.